Hey, so I'm Becca Rose. Happy 2017! So as you can tell by the title of this video, this is sort of a New Year's resolution video, and it's sort of about, staying motivated and working during this upcoming year. There are so many people that make resolutions that don't stick to them, which is it's okay. I certainly am guilty of this as well. I can't judge any other person for doing it. I don't like it when people judge other people for doing it, because if they're going out and working on their resolution, even if it's 3 days for that year, that's better than no days, and they're still making an impact and they're still being positive. You're still making an effort, and that's what matters. It's not about having this giant expectation put on you. At the same time, I understand that that's not a possibility for some people. Holding themselves to these standards is not something that they can achieve yet, which is so totally okay. It's okay if your resolution is not something giant. It's important that we see what's reasonable for us and we just try to build upon ourselves, little by little. So I want to start by talking about something that everybody's been talking about for the past 2 months, which is just that 2016 sucked so bad. I was scared for my life and the lives of others around me many times this year. We lost a lot of important people that made a really big impact on this country. Recently there has been a little more ignorance and hatred running around. Either that or there's just more light being shed on it. I'm not trying to be irrationally optimistic here, because it's important to look back on things that sucked and learn from it. So I talked about this a second ago, but a lot of people don't believe in making resolutions, which is totally fine. I'm going to talk about why I make resolutions. I personally am trying to make myself a better person and trying to do what I can to help out, myself and others. So a lot of people say the reason why they don't like to make resolutions is because time is fake. And I agree so strongly with the whole time is fake thing. I'm a big supporter of time is relative, and 1 minute to one person could be a completely different amount of time to 1 minute to another person. But I feel like socially we are all moving into this new year on the same day within the same few hours. So we as a nation are all recognizing that there's a big change happening. Even if that's not technically speaking, with time or whatever, because everything just continues on, it's still happening. I also think that it is a good time to sort of, get yourself in check, and if you haven't been motivated, if you haven't been making resolutions for yourself throughout the year, but you still want to improve, it's a good time to be okay, now is when I start. None of my resolutions were really abrupt. Most of them, if not all of them, are things that I've been working on improving over the past couple months or couple years anyway. For me, slow transitions, starting immediately when you want something to happen, is what works best. So I wanted to get a little bit into my resolutions. I just know that I feel really good when I am practicing all of these things. So my first one is one that I thought that I subconsciously practiced, and then realized a few weeks ago that maybe I wasn't practicing it as much as I thought I was, and that's just self-care. Mentally and physically. If I'm isolating too much, if I'm not getting enough me time, whatever it may be, I want to reflect more on what I can do to make myself happier. Also, self-care physically. I was recently living in Mexico for 3 months, and while I was there, I was exercising a lot and I lost a little bit of weight, and I feel really, really good. In order to continue on that path, I've sort of been taking strides to get myself to exercise more. So I signed up for recreational basketball, which is a sport at my school that I probably wouldn't have signed up for otherwise, but I'm really pushing myself, even though it's something that sort of makes me uncomfortable sometimes. I pushed myself to do it. I signed up in October and started in November, and even though it's difficult for me, I really, really enjoy it. I think that 2017 should be a year of balancing self-care and caring for others. We really underestimate the power of being nice. Another thing that I've been wanting to do is just be myself more. I've had a lot of trouble with just acting like myself, because I always am trying to impress somebody, or I'm trying to act a way that I think others are gonna appreciate, or try to be less weird, or try to be whatever. But I'm a weird person. I'm a positive person. I say crazy things a lot, and I think crazy things a lot, instead of saying something that I think somebody else is going to agree with or respect me for. I'm gonna say what I feel. I sort of subconsciously will try to suppress what my actual opinion is in order to agree with somebody else, which sort of just makes me boring, and I don't want to be boring because I'm not. I'm gonna be more honest, and I'm gonna say what I feel more frequently, and I'm gonna be myself more. I really don't want to make this about politics, but I know there are a lot of people, including myself, that are afraid of what's going to happen when our president-elect takes office. I wanted to talk about why I'm staying positive this year, even if things do get bad, which I really don't think they will. I think things are going to look up. First of all, this is a really random one, and this doesn't have to do with actually being positive. 2017 is such a good number. Like, that's just a very pleasing number to me. So another thing is that the more things go to shit, the more we're forced to change. The arrow of this society, so to speak, is being pulled back, and we're really due to be shot forward. I think another reason why 2017 is going to be great is just because I am going into it with a positive attitude. A lot of people don't like staying positive, which I totally respect. A lot of people say that it's irrational to be positive, although I understand what they're saying. I disagree. If somebody is positive, they should still be aware of what's going on and let themselves feel upset sometimes. But since we don't know what's going to happen in the future, if you just assume that it's going to be something good, you're going to be happier going into it. If something bad happens and I've gone into it with a positive mindset, then I'm better prepared to react to it. And I said this a second ago, but staying positive just generally makes me feel so much better. I personally think that everybody could benefit from being a little bit more positive and a little bit more accepting and a little bit less ignorant. So I just sort of wanted to get that message out there. Subscribe if you want to. Thank you for watching.